What's going on? Good day, people. Good day. Good morning. Good midday. Good afternoon. And good evening. My name is Jermaine McCrimmon, and I'd like to welcome you guys to Humanity Unplugged podcast. And we like to say thank you. First off, thank you for all our supporters who continue to show support through all social media platforms. You guys are great. We're here one more time again. And we just want to tell you guys that we have a lot to talk about in a short period of time to do it. But I got to give a shout out and I got to give my respects to the Most High who give us the wisdom and knowledge and allow us to be who we are and protect us at all times. We are living in today's world that is not fair. It's not easy. By all means, the odds are stacked against you. And as you wake up every morning, there's someone that's taking their life every day. We all have trials and tribulations. We all have tough times in our life. We all experience different things. But we stay in the race. Even though it doesn't look like we're going to win or come in first or second, we continue to push forward when the odds are against you. And I like to thank all the people that are in this race, all the people that sometimes never get acknowledged or have a knowledge for it, acknowledgement. And I just want to say that you guys are role models. Everyone that gets up every day and still fight the race and may come in last, and we might not get the pat on the back. We might not get the acknowledgement that we're doing a good job. We might not get the recognition that you are being seen and you are appreciated. I want to tell you that you are loved. Your hard work is not gone unnoticed. There's so many people that fight with mental depression along with other issues, abuse, substance abuse, just trials and tribulations on every hand. And you fight and you stay in there and you push through. You are a role model. And you are a symbol in your community of success. And no one may not tell you that, or they might not express that to you. I'm here to tell you, you are appreciated. So I want to tell you guys that when you get a chance and things may look cloudy for you, I want you to understand that still you have a chance to shine your light on someone else. And that's really all we can do. Today, as we take off our shoes and we relax ourselves, we put our feet up, we have a conversation to talk about. We have a lot of things to talk about. One of the things I want to talk about is the recent peace treaty between United States, Iran, Iraq, whatever you want to call them. We did come to agreement to disagree, as always, but the agreement still is we should get some help on the gas pump, meaning that by the time you guys hear this, which you'll be hearing this broadcast by this afternoon or maybe by 1:30, it's already been out over an hour that United States have come to agreement with Iran about some type of peace treaty and their nuclear war heads and stuff they got over there. They don't want them to have that over there. So, but still within the muckery and all the effery, that is still forbidden language being spoken between both parties because they haven't really come to agreement on that part. But they did agree to open up the lanes where the oil can be flowing through and we can get some reduced prices for the American people. Uh, that's great news if, in fact, it stands. Uh, the other great news is for 53 years, we have broken history. If you look in the National Basketball Association, the New York Knicks have won a national, championship. They are the world champions of basketball. They have broken a curse that's been on them for 53 years. And that's a great accomplishment. Big Body Brunson, Mikal Bridges, uh, Hart, Towns, all the guys there did a great job. However, um, as a New Yorker, we look for excellence. We praise it. We yearn for it. We want perfection, and everyone should have that if they have that built in them. You got to be brought up like that. Everybody's not brought up like that. Some people are okay with just whatever comes their way, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's you, that's you. But other people look for things that perfection. And as a highly sought after basketball fan as myself, my opinion on basketball and other sports are critical. I can tell you where we can do better at. And I think I'm going to open up a Knicks channel or a sports channel so we could talk about it there. But I will say congratulations because that is due. However, the city of New York is getting destroyed because of a championship. They're burning cars. They're beating people up. They're beating up innocent people. They're just beating up people, period, causing fights and breaking into restaurants and establishments. It's like the LA riots. Like, are you serious? I know we ain't used to nothing because that's how we act. And it's sad. Destroying where you live is ridiculous. I never see that such foolishness in my life. How you destroy where you lay your head at? Yo, I don't understand. Like, you set a car on fire that's going to be on your corner that you got to look at every day. I don't understand. Like, why would you do that? Why would you cause bodily harm and risk your freedom because we want a chip? But the parade is Thursday. That's the good news. Who knows? I would love to go to that. But in a way, I don't want to go to that because it's dangerous. I hate to say it. I'm a New Yorker diehard. I've been, I lived in New York all my life. And I know blocks I'm not going on. I already know I'm not doing that. And it's dangerous. It's really what it is. And yeah, it's cool, but it's dangerous. And a little parade ain't going, but you got the hustlers out there too. People on their jobs. While you out there, nigga, they on their jobs. The pickpocketers, the scammers, the credit card frauds, all of them out there, they hustling too. It's a job. New York never sleeps, so the hustlers never stop hustling. So I'm just saying, they try to make it a national holiday down there in New York that all the high schools and all the schools be out, regular school, whatever. And maybe they should. I don't know. But just something to think about. The other thing is the Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina Hurricanes have won the chip Stanley Cup. That's a beautiful thing. It's been a little while since I think 06. But they be winning, man. They do their thing. Came back to take the series. They did an excellent job. I was a little weary with the goalie, but they did their thing. And that's a great thing. So I'm going to give you this work. I want you guys to know that we don't stop. We get busy though, pray for us. You get busy out here. We be working, man. It be hard, but we're going to get in this lab and give you this work because this is what we do. The main article for today, episode 142, what is the terrorist group 764? We're going to talk about it, but we're going to go over a few things first, and then we're going to run. All right? So I want you guys to know that we appreciate you guys for sticking with us, and we appreciate all you guys do for us, and we will continue to give y'all this potent information. Here we go.
Heading to the G7 summit today, hours after the U.S. and Iran announced a new peace deal. That agreement is a major step forward, but key questions remain about what comes next. ABC's Karen Wall live in Washington with the latest for us. Karen.
Good morning, John. The deal is set to be signed in Switzerland on Friday, but the big question the deal doesn't seem to answer is what happens to Iran's nuclear weapons?
The U.S. and Iran have a deal after weeks of retaliatory attacks and shaky negotiations. Once the new agreement is signed, the Strait of Hormuz opens and the naval blockade is lifted. But the fate of Iran's nuclear program, a major red line for both parties, is still unresolved. It's expected to be further discussed during a 60-day ceasefire. Mike Waltz, the ambassador to the United Nations, explains the complications.
The Iranians are incredibly difficult negotiators, coupled with the fact that they're having a very hard time getting guidance from their supreme leader, and they're not always on the same page within their team.
Vice President J.D. Vance is expected to attend the deal signing in Switzerland Friday. He says the deal ensures Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, but the Iranians have not confirmed this.
If the Iranians comply with this deal, it is going to fundamentally transform the Middle East for the next 50 years. It's going to end the war. It's going to make the Middle East more investable. It's going to mean a lot of prosperity, lower energy prices for the American people.
This deal comes just after Israel attacked Hezbollah again in Lebanon, killing 3 people and wounding 6 others. A former Israeli senior military intelligence officer tells ABC's Martha Raddatz he's doubtful Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu would support this new deal between the U.S. and Iran.
We've known the Iranians for many years. You don't really believe that the fact that they promised or they signed something is worth anything.
Overnight, Israel's defense minister said that Israel would not withdraw from any territory it has seized, saying Israel is not subordinate to the United States.
So we heard that, agreement has been made since last week, Friday. However, if they agree to this, your boy Vance saying it's going to be critical. Now, who keeps their word nowadays? Definitely not politicians. So you take that with a grain of salt. Now, prices have went down on the gas tank. I've seen it, I filled up with 93 yesterday. I didn't fill up. I got $40 worth, 93. It was $4.79 for 93. Believe me or not, that's high, but that's cheaper than what I seen it. So not bad at all. I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna get what you're gonna get, and we got to live through it. But progression, or we headed in the right way, hopefully, and we can get some relief for the American people. It's sad, but that's what they said. Maybe it'd be factual, maybe not. I don't know. We have to just stay tuned and see what's going to come from it, right? And that's the best thing we can do, right? Just see what comes from it. So I'm going to give y'all something I want y'all to check out. All right. And you let me know what you think. Listen up.
Is trying to raise awareness about what it and the Department of Justice have labeled as a new national security threat. The group is called 764, and the Bureau considers it a violent online network. Fox 4 Sean Rabb talked with the head of counterterrorism and domestic terrorism, the Dallas FBI office. Sean.
Yeah, and Clarice, 764 named such for the first 3 digits in the zip code where the FBI says this online activity began. Stephenville, Texas. But now it's spread its dark tentacles around the world. Its online danger is so real, the FBI and DOJ say 764 is a new national security threat. The 764 zip code by a 15-year-old started it back in 2021. Now it's worldwide. That teen is now an adult and serving an 80-year prison sentence for child pornography. FBI taking rare steps like asking law enforcement to post its open letter, and the Bureau itself posting videos on social media about this threat.
764 and other violent online networks like it are comprised of online actors who are located throughout the world, including right here in North Texas. They work together to target and exploit minor victims online on online gaming apps and social media platforms. They are driven by a wide array of motivations, including desire for chaos, hatred, financial gain, sexual gratification.
Now, on the FBI's website, this man, Austin Yatko, at one time a Plano resident. The FBI offering a $25,000 reward for information that leads to his arrest. Assistant Special Agent in charge of the Dallas FBI, Robbie Manson, says Yatko is part of this 764 network.
Co is wanted for his role in creating child sex abuse material and distributing that to other members of violent online network like 764. Yako we believe he's located in the Philippines, and we're actively working to bring him to justice.
Now, Manson says parents must pay attention to who their children are spending time with online and whether there are behavior changes that take place. If so, they want you to say, get involved. If you suspect something strange and see unhealthy behavior, call 911 or 1-800-CALL-FBI. And the ASAC in charge in Dallas says 764 is different from some other online extremist networks because of the motivation behind its work, because of the tactics beyond sexual gratification, which include, of course, the child porn, but a desire to inflict psychological torment, coercion, to force victims to take part in escalating crimes, even against other people.
So that's why they're letting you know that this is a new group. This is a new terrorist group because they want you to not just have kids involved with child pornography. They want to make the kids do crimes. That's a whole new level. Whole new level of effery. When you can convince a kid to go do a crime too, because now you can't get the person that's really behind it. You're going to prosecute the kid. So it's definitely something we need to talk about. We're going to start this off because it gets better than that. It's deeper than that. And I'm going to give y'all the first little sample of it. Here we go.
Group of online extremists called 764.
Violent extremist groups targeting children online.
764 is a violent extremist group targeting children online, blackmailing them into committing violence and even encouraging them to commit suicide. Lisa Fletcher digs into the fast-evolving movement that U.S. authorities now consider a top-tier terrorism threat.
I stand before you as a mother whose only child was taken by something so preventable, so cruel, and so ignored that it should shake every person in this room to their core.
In December, Tamia Woods testified before a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. The Ohio mother is carrying the pain and now a cause from the loss of her son, who committed suicide at 17 after falling victim to a financial sextortion plot on Instagram more than 3 years ago.
One of the messages sent to my son, and I quote, I am more determined to rot your life than to make it a waste, a trash can, a shame, a dishonor, a hell, a real disaster, a hell on earth. And I remind you that I am heartless. I have no pity to rot a life as well as yours.
For more than 19 hours, 17-year-old James was tormented by a pitiless entity most parents have never heard of. It's called 764, an online network tied to child exploitation and, experts say, a brand of extremism built around one idea.
I just created simple product videos.
I'm sorry, guys, but it's got to play. So when it finished, we get back to it.
.764 is a fairly loosely defined and loosely brought together network of
I'm sorry, it's low.
extremists. It is a child abuse network primarily. These individuals operate online where they are interacting with young users, exploiting those users through the use of blackmail, threats of violence, and pushing them to the point of either self-harm or other damaging behaviors.
Dr. Simon Purdue is the director of the Violent Extremism Threat Monitor in Washington, D.C. He says 764 targets kids they see as easy prey.
They look for insecurities, expressions of depressive thoughts, suicidality, other forms of vulnerability that is being expressed in these online spaces.
Why?
Because they get a kick out of this. It's tied to a movement called No Lives Matter, and it's just at its very core violent, and they are pursuing suffering. That's ultimately what they want to see, is suffering.
The name 764 reportedly traces back to the network's founder, a Texas-based teenager from the Houston area with an area code of 764. The founder, Bradley Cadenhead, later pleaded guilty in a child pornography case and is now serving an 80-year prison sentence. But Purdue says this isn't a traditional group with a leader or headquarters.
Because of the almost leaderless nature of this kind of space online, it's a constantly evolving space.
That decentralization makes it hard for investigators and even harder for parents to know who's really on the other side of a screen.
What do you think would shock parents most about how quickly their child can get pulled into something like 764?
This isn't happening in spaces that you would see as violent. This is happening in very mainstream spaces that seem on the surface to be quite benign and harmless. Roblox and Minecraft, any space where there's online community and online communication is very problematic and harmful to young users.
Purdue says cases like the death of James Woods show what this network is designed to do.
It's an evolution of cyberbullying to the point of sexual exploitation, blackmail, and self-harm.
But the main goal of this group is to get kids to harm or kill themselves.
Mm-hmm. That would be the end goal.
But it's not all of the equation.
It does include sexual abuse materials and the production of sexual abuse materials as well.
A Department of
I
Justice
wanted y'all to hear
tells
this,
us
man.
the
This is
DOJ
good.
is investigating more than 36 764 cases across the country. On Capitol Hill, lawmakers are now warning the country is behind.
From a parent's point of view, why is it important to make these sextortion illegal under federal law?
It's laws like this that would back our children and influence them to speak up and let them know that they're being victimized. And people need to be held accountable on top of that. They need to know that they shouldn't be comfortable with doing the things that they're doing. Right now, they're comfortable, and you see more and more people being victimized because of that.
But Purdue warns awareness alone is not enough.
Just knowing that they're out there doesn't mean that you're going to be aware every time someone pretends to be a fellow 16-year-old, tries to open a dialogue.
Because the first move isn't a threat, it's a conversation.
At one point and said, "Hey, are you okay?" And he said, "Yeah." And he said, Are you what's going on?" He said, "I'm fine."
Carter's grandma picked him up from practice and seemed okay on the way home. Once he got home, Melissa and Steven say they got alarming texts from their son.
He was texting with Steve about, what to heat up and eat for dinner and homework. And then we both got a text said, "Bye, Mom. Bye, Dad. I love you." And that was it.
The Adells say Carter had never been called into the principal's office before, and they still don't know why Carter was so upset at football practice that day. They're questioning if that bullying accusation was part of all of this.
When someone is accused of racial slurs and microaggressions, like, that's a big accusation.
We rely on the people at school to be the eyes, to be the one to say, "Hey, you know, like, Carter's visibly upset. You might want to come get him."
So what are you wanting to happen?
To sit down and understand with staff members, including teachers that day, what did they see? What happened from, you know, an educational standpoint for him that day?
And we just don't know because no one is willing to like sit down and go through those things with us.
Which is why the Adells got an attorney, but
when we did that, it almost seemed like that slammed the door shut.
The Adells attorney says the district won't allow the principal and Carter's football coaches to talk to him. Upper Arlington Sheringham Park quote, "The school district has been responsive to all requests for information, and our superintendent has met with the family to answer questions. It is not typical nor advised by district legal counsel for staff to be interviewed by a family attorney."
But I do feel like there's the breakdown of communication between when the school needs to call and or what can happen, what can go on before parents are notified.
The district says parents are notified if there is an indication or evidence that their child is involved in a particular situation.
Is really making it so that people understand that if they see a child in distress, that they say something to.
So they're saying their kid lost his life, and whatever took place that made him upset took place at school. They're saying the school people didn't notify them prior or acknowledge something was wrong with their child before the child took their life. Now, the child took his life after being influenced by one of the guys off in 764. They want answers. I'm sorry, it's a commercial. We're going to get right back.
The goal right now for the Adells is to find out what took place that day. They're also trying to be there for their 11-year-old daughter.
I know people say like 1 foot forward, but there are times I'm walking and I literally tell myself that because I feel so numb sometimes.
We don't always see everything that goes on with these gaming platforms or social media, who interacts with whom on these platforms. And it's very easy to entice young children, young adults into things that they may not normally do.
It doesn't really lean in the, oh, we support this group or we support this religion. It's more just we're going to cause violence and chaos for chaos' sake.
The groups offer kids friendship, then break down their self-worth, convincing them, sometimes with extortion, to harm themselves, pets, siblings, and their communities. The signs include changes in behavior like pulling away from stuff they are normally into, withdrawing from in-person activities, and developing an almost obsessive need to be online.
When we go to the house to talk to the child or the parent, usually the parent or the guardian is not even aware of these groups and wasn't aware this is something that maybe their child could fall into. They felt that if their child wasn't, out at 2 a.m, doing drugs or intoxicated, that their child was safe. And in reality, I would say a lot of harm can be done with just unmonitored internet communication.
The danger is all virtual, but very real. They never have to meet in person and can easily get rid of a forum and start over on a different platform.
If you're a parent, you're worried, one of the best things you can do if you're seeing this is just know who your child is talking to online. In 2025, I really don't think that we should just be saying, they're probably doing okay. Open a dialogue, see what's going on.
Part of the solution, the FBI says, is getting the word out to communities, giving parents the tools to be proactive about their kids' safety.
We want to protect them. We want to keep them safe. We want to provide people with the tools to be able to do that. And even if it protects one life, that's one life less that gone over to the other side.
This is a very serious threat.
The dark, dangerous online underworld now brings even more potential pain.
The sadistic online exploitation of our kids.
Ted Dox, special agent in charge of the FBI Boston office, is trying to spread the word to parents about monsters trying to hook kids through online gaming and other platforms.
They'll befriend these individuals, build a relationship, and then they'll utilize that to co-opt them. We're seeing that they'll start off by either sharing gore content or getting these individuals to share gore content, to getting them used to that, to co-opt them or groom them. They're getting them to share child sexual abuse material. They're getting them to actively engage in animal cruelty. And a lot of the times we see this with household pets.
Sometimes live streaming those acts, which also include suicide and mutilating their own bodies.
These children are actually cutting and carving into their bodies the names of these subjects.
How are they convincing them to do some of this awful stuff?
The ideology is nihilistic violent extremism. And that's basically a hatred toward human nature, human behavior. And so they're basically trying to sow chaos, and they seek the destruction of society.
Doc says the predators coerce, manipulate, and threaten kids typically from ages 10 to 17, from sending gifts to calling the police to their homes and swatting episodes to show they know where they live, and that they'll try to outdo each other with what kind of destructive things they can get kids to do.
Well, guys, I'm just going to be a 2-part series, so this is good, man. I love it. I love to hear about this stuff. I want you guys to comment on it. We at the 31-minute mark, and it's got a load of ways to go, but I want you to know that we need to make sure we know what our kids are doing online, grandkids, whoever, whatever. We need to know what's going on, man, because kids are taking a life, self-inflicting bodily harm to themselves, and we need to know what's going on with that. It's not cool. We need to know, how can we come in there and stop it from happening? How can we prevent our kids from being targeted like this? Because there are going to be targets if we don't step in there and shut it down. My conclusion is monitor what your kids are getting into. Ask the questions, start a dialogue, start something with them, get them upset, cut the damn internet off. I don't care what you do. Life you save could be your own. It could be your own loved one. And if you don't interfere and be that wall of protection, who's going to do it? You can't talk about it afterwards because they don't hang out in the street. Oh, he's okay. Or they don't smoke weed. He's okay. Or he don't be out with the boys chasing girls. Oh, he's all right. I don't care what he's doing in the room. No, you need to care. You need to stop being passive and putting so much trust in a child. A child is a child. They still a child. I see so many people getting brainwashed by their children. It is sickening. A child tell them something and they just go with it. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. No, go behind them. Let me tell you a secret. You want to know how your children act? You want to know what you have or what you created, what monster you might have produced? Watch them when you're not around. Look at their behavior, their tendencies. See if they're mannerful with other people. See if they show adults respect. You want to know what you got? What your child will do when you ain't around? Watch them. Test them. Believe me or not, for those out there that are trying to protect their child from the world, all you doing is making it worse, because they're not prepared for the different things that happen in our society, and they will be hustled by someone else. You rather teach your child yourself what they need to know than to let them be out in the world and get hustled by someone else. Those are the facts. Guys, listen. If you don't help someone, help yourself. Help yourself. Stop complaining and make a change. I'm your host, Jermaine McCrimmon. This is Humanity Unplugged podcast. Peace.